The king is back.
Hello traders, welcome back, and let's dive right into the charts. Yesterday, we were discussing the possibility that Bitcoin might take out the 12-hour swing low, which was the main target for the trade I've been following. Now, today, that target has been hit, which brings us to the current situation. Let's take a look at today's statistics and try to combine a few things to see what could happen next. But before we get started, I want to remind you that I'm not a financial advisor. This content is for educational purposes only, so please be sure to read the disclaimer below the video. Alright, let's go! So, today's average gain for Bitcoin is 1.84%, which would bring the price to 68,587, while the average loss is 2.67%, which would bring Bitcoin down to 65,553. Now, let's explore whether these average moves would change anything in the current market structure or if they align with other potential scenarios we've been watching. One of the most obvious observations is that these average moves wouldn't necessarily lead to a breakout of the current range. A move to the downside, for example, would bring us into the lower part of the order block, sitting just slightly above the invalidation point of Wave 4. So, if Bitcoin doesn't tap into this level, the idea we discussed earlier about continuation to the upside would still be valid, and we might get a setup around that area. If that area holds, we could see the continuation of this trend, and Bitcoin could rally from this level. However, if the level is invalidated, we'd have to look at new scenarios and work with the updated data. Now, let's talk about the average move to the upside, which would bring Bitcoin right into yesterday's resistance. This level could offer a few different outcomes, either a rejection, or it could spend a longer time at this level, maybe through tomorrow or even longer, potentially reclaiming this area as support. As it stands right now, if Bitcoin hits this level, it could break the 1-hour structure to the upside, which might present a new setup. However, if today follows a typical range-bound day based on average movement, we wouldn't expect a major breakout. If Bitcoin forms a new low instead of continuing higher, we'd be looking for a setup from the lower levels, not at these highs. Now, let's dive a little deeper into the time aspect, especially from an Elliott wave perspective. If this is indeed Wave 4, it needs to match or exceed the length of Wave 2 in terms of time. From this perspective, tomorrow would be the minimum time requirement, though personally, I prefer Thursday as a midweek reversal day. This gives us some nice confluence for the idea that today may just be a range day. And if Bitcoin presents us with a 1-hour structure break setup today, it could simply lead to a rejection or more range-bound action. This could mean that the real setup will form later in the week or even into next week, depending on how the price action develops. Of course, this analysis assumes that we are indeed in Wave 4. As always, it could turn out to be part of a more bearish scenario or something entirely different. We also have to consider the possibility of a larger-than-average move, the max move for the day, or a swing failure pattern at the highs or lows, which could happen as well. If something like that occurs, we'll need to adapt our plan to the new data. For now, I'm working with what I see in front of me. But rest assured, I'll keep you updated as the situation evolves. So, where does this leave us? At this point, the key takeaway is that we need to remain cautious and prepared for various outcomes. If we see a clear sign of strength at these levels, such as a structure break to the upside, it could offer a chance to get involved in a trade. But, given the possibility of a Wave 4 correction, it's also very likely that the price could range for a while or form setups later in the week. And that's the beauty of following the charts. We work with probabilities, but we're always ready to adjust when new data comes in. Alright guys, that's it for today's quick update. As always, follow the White Rabbit for more updates, and don't forget to check out the disclaimer below the video. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.